If you were to put this in next to a waterfall in nature, there's not a person that could say that that wasn't formed by God. Not calling you God.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I heard it.
No princess. Was it a prince?
We didn't do the pond tour the last couple of years, and so we were showing it to somebody and it was like, wow.
That is a huge fish.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
There are some jumbos. Hi, I'm Greg Wittstock, the pond guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the pond guy. This is Brian Helfrich, my top construction guy, and we have been traveling around seeing ponds that Brian has built over the last years. This is a 13-year-old water feature, super natural.
As natural as you can possibly get.
All right, this is all about living the aquascape lifestyle. Let's see how someone lives the natural lifestyle.
Absolutely. You're gonna be blown away.
I'm the pond guy, Greg Wittstock.
Yeah. The one thing I've always loved about your guys' project though is how incredibly natural it is, because you just kind of let it go. But that's what I like about it, because it's so different than everybody else's extremely manicured. And look at the water clarity. The brown tint will drive some people crazy. I don't mind it at all here because it just goes with the entire setting.
It really does. And then of course the brown tint is caused from tannins. So this is on the bottom of a slope. It gets rain, wash, runoff all the time. They got big fish. So the water is clear. It's just got a tint to it, which comes from tannins from leaves.
And we've got driftwood and some other stuff in here. The other thing you'll notice too, Greg, almost every time if they've got the tannins, like the brownish tint, never ever do you see string algae. It's a natural way to cut the sunlight down.
13 years old, and then basically they just let it go. And yet fish are healthy. I love the stream. I can already tell that's gonna be my favorite part because it comes all the way from the back of the house.
As we walk through this and you see it, the entire thing dug by hand and all the stones moved by hand. The only tool we had out here was the dingo. So we dug and excavated the entire pond using the dingo. No backhoes or mini excavators or anything, and all the rocks were placed by hand.
It just keeps going and going and going. How long would you say that is? Maybe 150 feet?
Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way up the hill. All the wood and stuff just came from the property. You can tell that it just lent us the material to use whatever we wanted. But these big logs have now been here 13 years and they're still not rotting away.
Because they're always submerged. And when a log is always submerged, it's not gonna rot like if it was exposed to the air.
As pond builders, we go through phases, right? And sometimes I like this rock, sometimes I like that rock, sometimes we're incorporating a lot of bridges. There was a year where we were doing a lot of land bridges, and so this is actually a land bridge. And a land bridge is a way for us to actually allow dirt or a patio or grass to actually go right over the top of the pond. And the way it's constructed is using a culvert type style pipe. So we have a culvert pipe in here. We wrap it almost like a burrito with the liner and then just put dirt over the top of it. But you can see how the waterfall just comes down, disappears underground, and then reappears back over here. For me, it reminds me of like being a kid. If we had stumbled upon this in nature, 100% both of us would be tweaking that waterfall and trying like jamming it up and twisting stuff. Everything in my body not to jump over there and get water to come down to that other side.
Look at that waterfall there. So that's a sheet falls. It's different than the babbling rocks that we have down there, but that sheet fall is just gorgeous. And if you have an underwater light on that, that will just glow at night.
like we were talking about before, one of the biggest challenges of this one was every rock is a hand-sized rock.
And you had to get the
right?
rocks up the hill.
And so we were using tree dollies and that dingo to get up this hill and then excavating this. So you can see, like with a big hill like this and digging this by hand, we would not do this by hand anymore.
Right.
But see how much excavation is just in this area to get that drop, that sheet style waterfall. It's like there's an awful lot of digging.
Yes.
And then obviously we had to be mindful of the oak trees and the tree roots and everything else. This waterfall right here is where the original design said to stop. And then after, you know, being on the property for 3 days and getting to know them, it just seemed like a waste not to move it all the way up to its fullest potential.
So while you were here, you expanded it.
We said, hey, why don't we go up a little bit further? And we did this entire project, Greg, in 3.5 days. 6 guys.
Wow.
So it's always so much fun to come back and reminisce with past customers, and they actually just handed me some of these pictures, and you wouldn't believed it if you didn't have a documented photograph that showed the excavation. But this is the excavated area of this pond over here. And this area right here, right across from the wheelbarrow, is right where we put in these large stepping stones. It's just fun to have the flashback, because I remember setting these stones right here and trying to make this as interactive as possible. So we have this high rock here, low one here, low one here, with the intent that it was going to take them off into the rest of the yard. But then things evolve and things change, so they just kind of let it go wild. But so neat to see like how this pond's matured. And now check out this other photo that they gave me of the excavation of the stream over here. So right here you can see the corner of the deck where this picture was taken 13 years ago. And this area right in here is that waterfall right there just before the land bridge there. So this is what the excavation of that entire stream looks like before the liner, before the rock, before the gravel, before Mother Nature took over. This is definitely my favorite picture right here. This waterfall right here, that rock with the t-shirt on it is this rock right here. That waterfall is that waterfall, and better yet, there's the Grande Biofalls being placed and set way up on the top of the hill back there. So unbelievable that this can look so natural now and compared to what it looked like when we built it, right? But the potential is there. The canvas is here, and Mother Nature just stepped in and did what she wanted to do. And of course, homeowners have, you know, popped in some natives here and there and kind of added their touch to it. But it's just so awesome to kind of go back down memory lane and look at these things and how much they've changed and developed and matured over time. Awesome stuff.
They actually have their springers go into the pond and interact. And this is what springers should be doing. People always ask about dogs with ponds. This is a dog with a pond. I love it. And you know what else I love? I love the fact that this natural pond is probably 2 feet deep, right, Brian? It's got koi in here 20 inches long that have been in here for 13 years. And everything works just fine. And you don't have to have a designated koi pond to have gorgeous fish that are healthy, thriving, and happy living out here in an aquascape ecosystem pond with dogs interacting with it. You know what? Everybody doesn't need a pristine water feature. This water feature is a beautiful water feature. It's so relaxing just sitting here. This is what living the aquascape lifestyle is all about. Whether you got dogs or giant fish. What about yours? What's your favorite part?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Right? 100%. It's just...
That's the only answer there is. No. Tell us what your favorite part of this job is. It's not for everybody's taste. Some people like more manicured, but I absolutely think, especially with the house and the people, that this yard goes with them and this water feature goes with them, and it just works. 13 years of just continuously running and just going and not creating a lot of work for them because they let it go. A water feature is as much or as little work, or a garden is as much or as little work as you want it to be. Obviously they don't want a lot of work. They want to let this thing just go, and it has, and it's absolutely stunning how natural it looks. The fact that we can build this and do it, like you said, in 3.5 days, that is impressive. If you like to see this stuff, subscribe to the Team Aquascape page and you'll get to see what Brian and Chris and Ed and our local market guys actually do to build aquascape ecosystem water features. And if you like this lifestyle, subscribe to the Aquascape channel because you're gonna get to actually excited to see unique water features just like this. Never gets old for me to go out and visit. This is a pond that we built 13 years ago. It's my first time actually seeing it as the owner, and I absolutely love it. Good work, buddy. I love my job.